There's a lot going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. Our top story to begin the show today is what happened overnight on Monday, really early on this morning on Tuesday, an incident around Square Lake Road in West Bloomfield between St. Joseph and Pine Ridge Road, where a box truck had been spilling some oil out onto the street that led to a road closure overnight in the Square Lake Road area. And there continues to be a lot of caution encouraged out there at this time, as you see some pictures from WXYZ TV's Ryan Marshall that he posted on X earlier on this morning. Joining us now to talk a little bit about the situation out at Square Lake Road and what the residents of our community and those coming through Greater West Bloomfield should know at this time is Deputy Police Chief and Public Information Officer Dale Young with the West Bloomfield Police Department. Deputy Chief, thank you for being with us.
Yes, and good morning to you, Tyler. So I'd like to start off addressing the fact that overnight we had the West Bloomfield Fire Department hazmat team out. They did an initial assessment of that oily substance, and they were able to determine that it is not harmful, not flammable. As far as what the actual substance is, we don't know at this time.
All right, and so that brings up a number of different questions. We have some idea of what happened last night. It is alleged that there was some truck that was leaking this substance. Is there any indication of was this accidental? Was this something where there was an emergency and this had to be? How did this, from your understanding at this time, how did this happen?
While information is still limited at this time, it's an ongoing investigation, but our preliminary look into this is likely leading to be intentional.
And so with that being the case, and with the road still being under very slick conditions from this oily substance, as you said, it's not entirely certain what that substance is. However, it has been determined that it's not a toxic substance at this time. What caution should be taken by residents in West Bloomfield, and especially even those that are traveling through our community for their commute to work today or other activities in West Bloomfield Township?
Well, because the cleaning efforts are still ongoing, as you showed some of those pictures, the absorbing material that we're using needs time to do its job. So we're asking residents and people that are visiting or traveling through West Bloomfield that if they can find alternative routes to do so, but if they have to drive through the area, to use extreme caution, do what they can to avoid driving through the absorbing material, because that's going to be sitting right on top of that slick substance.
And this is at Middlebelt Road, just around Square Lake, really at Square Lake and Middlebelt Road in West Bloomfield Township. We got a map we can put up there, Calvin. As you can see, this is in a residential area, but there are some alternative routes for people to get into those residential areas. As you see around Mid-Pine Road, just to the south of that area, you can get into either St. Joseph or Pine Ridge, which is right at that affected area from Square Lake. So it is a relatively small area that's affected of road, but luckily that's the good thing about this, is that there are ways around that. However, Deputy Chief, if people do need to drive through that area, is there an opening at this time? Is that road still remaining fully closed as it was overnight?
No, it is open, it is passable, but we're still urging caution when people are going through there. And also, Tyler, I'd like to also let people know that if they have any information regarding this incident, that we're encouraging them to contact Detective Foster, and the phone number for him is 248-975-8926. Again, that's 248-975-8926. Any information would be helpful at this time.
248-975-8926. Detective Foster leading the investigation on this. Dale Young is the Deputy Police Chief and Public Information Officer with the West Bloomfield Police Department, joining us on the Splash Live as we talk about an incident that happened around 1 a.m. where a substantial amount of an oily substance was discovered on Square Lake Road in the area of St. Joseph and Pine Ridge Road, which are two residential streets just to the west of the Square Lake Road and Middlebelt intersection in West Bloomfield. Again, as the Deputy Chief said, the road is open at this time. However, there are slick conditions. You should be very careful or avoid that area if at all possible, and continue to follow along with us and with the West Bloomfield Police Department for updates. Their Facebook page is at West Bloomfield PD. Deputy Chief, at this time, do we have any understanding of a possible timeline for when we could see the road reopen in full or in regular safe condition?
Fortunately, I wouldn't be able to speculate on that at the moment. I can just tell you that the absorbing material is continually being assessed to see when, in fact, we can open the roadway fully.
All right. We will do our best to keep the community updated as well on this. We'll keep in contact with your team at the police department. Thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been a busy day so far for you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.